basically leaves the building, you can basically just go off on a tangent. The idea really is to speak for between 1 and 2 minutes. The minimum is 1, maximum is 2, and if you go over 2, essentially the shepherd's crook of the timekeeper will alert you to that fact. And it's also, I think the point of the table topics is a little bit about honing your mental alacrity, being able to think on your feet, being able to practice your speaking chops. And for those that are new to this, don't worry, just talk. I think that's about right. So, the subjects are going to be based on names, and there is a reason for this, is because the new royal baby is called Archie.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever. And it's not, and that's not it. It's Archie Harrison Mountbatten, and I think the surname is Windsor. So, I'm going to ask Samantha, who has to leave early, so is this a proper royal name or what? So please could you welcome Samantha.
It's Rachel.
Rachel, sorry. That's because I've sorry. It is Rachel, you're sorry. Sorry, yes. It changed the last minute. Is this a proper name, a royal name, or what? So please could you welcome to the stage Rachel, please.
Wow, what a question. Is Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor? What a long name. Is that a proper royal name? When I heard the news today, I thought Archie sounds quite a proper name. Sounds a bit snobbish if you ask me. Archie, I think it sounds cute. I do like, my favourite part of the name, however, is Harrison. It has a bit of an American twist to it, so I think Megan brought in her American side. I do love the name, I must say, altogether, it sounds great. I think for me the focus is not so much on the name, but more on the pictures. I didn't see all the pictures today, but I did see a few of the shots from the media, and I think it's really cute and lovely how the couple pose together. It looks so natural with the baby. Not making any comparisons here, but just by way of comparison, the public start that Kate Middleton or Princess Diana made when they had their baby right outside the hospital didn't look so natural. But for me, seeing Meghan and Harry in their, home, in their area, just naturally posing in front of the camera, they look so happy. You can see it in Harry's face. It just looks really, really lovely. And I think, yeah, Archie, what's his name again? Archie Harrison, Mountbatten Windsor. I think altogether is a lovely name. I think maybe Harry might have chosen Archie because it sounds like such a British name. But yeah, I think it's a lovely name. I really wish the couple the utmost best for their baby. And yeah, looking forward to see what this baby does in the future. And will it be a prince or will it be a lord as well? That'd be quite interesting. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. The next one is Samantha, and I'm going to ask her, what is the best name for a pet? So Samantha, come on. And can you explain why? The reason for your choice.
Mr. Topics Master, fellow Trojans. What is the best name for a pet? I think the best name for a pet is whatever takes your fancy. My pet, I had a little puppy, a bit of a mongrel, and I named him Caesar. And I think there's an importance in a name, because often you live up to your name. And he liked to be, in the midst of everything. He was always getting involved. He was very human, actually. He would come, and if we were lying on the bed, he would come and lie in the bed. He'd have to put his head on the pillow. He wouldn't want to lie anywhere else. He looked around, he followed. We had a cat as well. He saw the cat, he was a cat litter. He decided, oh, this is a great idea, I'm going to try that as well. So he went to my mother's favorite plant, did his business, and then tried to cover it up like the cat. So, you know, he was very smart and lived up to his name. So for me, I think that, you know, there's a lot in a name. I think you've got to be very careful when you choose a name, because often somebody will live up to it, either in the way that you intended or in an opposite fashion. And there is no specific name that one can choose. One should just go with their heart. Thank you very much.
Darshan is next. Deshan.
What's the name?
Yeah, Deshan is you, so thank you for volunteering. Could you tell me whether naming a car, what do you think of people who name their cars? And if you were so minded, what would you call your car? So, Deshan, would you like to come up? Yes. What do you think of the people who choose to name their cars, and why? And if you were to call your car something, a name, what would you call it? And you can tell me outline why. So we can come on.
So, what do I think of people who name their vehicle, their car? I think these sorts of people just love to give out names to everyone. Name the fridge, or they like to name the car, or oh, that chair's called Alfred. Yeah, sure, why not? I think, me personally, I don't believe in giving your vehicle a name. It's just an item which gets you from A to B, and that's about it really. But I guess I don't know. Everyone can do what really they want to do. It's their car. You're free to do as you please. I'd say if I had my own car, a Ferrari, then I would just call it a Ferrari actually. And the reason is because that's what it means to me. It's just a fast car, it's a fast red car. That's about it really. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Okay. I have an interest in sport. I like to watch sport, and I'm always interested in sportsmen's names. So my favourite sportsman's names is a runner called Haile Gebrselassie, and there was another one which trumps that, which is a Tour de France bike rider, and he was a sprinter, and his name was, if I get it right, Jamoluddin Abdul-Jabbarov, which I think is the best sportsman's name ever. So, I'm going to ask Alan if he has a favourite sportsman's name, and would he like to outline why he thinks this is a particularly good name. So Alan, would you like to come up and explain your favourite sportsman's name and why? Sorry, Alan, sorry.
Thank you. So first of all, my car has got a name. It's called Penny Cat, and I'm sorry. I'd like to think it's because my 6-year-old wanted me to call the car a name. That's mostly true. When it comes to sports persons, I'm thinking 2 of my sports heroes from when I was young. I'm thinking of 2 long middle distance runners, and there was a great rivalry between Sebastian Coe and Steve Ovett, who you might know as great English distance runners. Sebastian Coe was kind of the kind of suave, sophisticated, cool geezer who was good on camera and was quite a good runner too. Steve Ovett was more the kind of grafter who kind of didn't really play to the crowd, didn't really want to appeal to the publicity, wanted to get on, do his job and perform, the best he could, because that's what he was built to do. One of them became the IOC kind of chief or something like that, Sebastian Coe. The other is, I think, a coach in Australia who now coaches runners in that part of the world. So I think my favourite name of a sports person has to be Stephen Beck, because I admire the sort of grit and determination that he showed, and the fact that he kind of did it his way and didn't necessarily seek the publicity and the benefits and the adulation in the way that some others do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, so it's Amit next, sorry. I'm going to have a bit of a saga on my name to see if it's just... Anyway, so I'm going to ask Amit, tell us a little bit about his name, if he knows anything about the background of his surname, or his Christian name, or his first name. And secondly, what do you like about it and what you don't like about it. So, come on, Amit, and tell us about your name.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. So, my name is Amit Jain, full name is Jain. Jain is a religion in India. It's a kind of Hindu religion. So, I'm born and brought up with my religion. And what about my name? Is Amit is something like very big in every aspect. That is what Amit is. Or we have got a favorite actor in India, which is called Amitabh Bachchan, which we call Amit, which is, and I think during my time when I was born, he was very famous. So maybe my parents thought that's a good name for me. And one thing I found that Amit is a very, very common name. Wherever I work, wherever I go, you will find a lot of Amits. Even in every office I worked, I get a lot of emails for different Amits come to me, and a lot of different Amits. Mine will go to a lot of different Amits. So that's one thing. And the second thing was about what I like and what I don't like. I like improving myself every day. I like learning and improving myself every day. What I don't like is I'm quite very hesitant many times. So I try to, through this forum, I want to improve and I want to being less hesitant and being less fearful in my life. That's what it is.
Okay, so Rena is going to talk to us next. And I'm going to go back to celebrity names. So I always think to myself, what possessed the mother of Keanu Reeves to call Keanu Reeves Keanu Reeves? So, what do you think is the best film star name and why? So, Rena, would you like to come up and tell us about film star name?
So, what is the best film star name? So, I think when you sit down here and you're looking at the table topics and you listen to everybody else's, you're just like, oh, I could answer that one. I could answer that one. And then it comes to yours and you're a bit like, well, I'm not quite sure I want to answer that one, or I can answer that one. Celebrities, I think I've come up here before and I've said celebrities are not really my thing. Movie stars, I think some of the names that people name their children in the movie world and in the celebrity world is a bit outrageous. So I'm sure there's someone called Apple. Well, we've got a company called Apple. Do we need a person called Apple? That's fine. But I think some of the questions before were really interesting. So about your own name, Amit, perfect name. And then there was, what other topic was there? Looking around the room. I think the first topic was really, really interesting. But what celebrity name would I choose? I'm not really sure. If I was a celebrity, I think my name would be fine. I have my name. I like to think my name's quite unique, Rena. Rena Silver. And I had never worked with anyone called Rena before. And then in my last job, the director was called Rena. Shock to my system, because I had been the only Rena, the only unique person in my life ever. And then I went to this organisation, and the most senior person was called Rena. So I became like that small, because everyone was like, oh yeah, Rena, and I would turn around and it would be like, oh no, I'm going to see the important person. So that was quite annoying. And then my manager, his manager left, and that person was the person between, so it was me, my manager, his manager, and then Rena, who was the top boss. And then his manager left, so then he had to manage me, Rena, and he was managed by Rena. That was the most strangest thing in my life. I was thinking, if he has an issue at work now with his boss or with me, he's going to go home and complain to his wife. Rena is annoying me. So, yeah. Sorry about the celebrities in the movies, but that's quite a funny story about my name.
Right, the last one is for Melody, who enlightened me and said that like the tune, so thank you very much for that. And my son is called Jack Timothy, so his second name is named after him. But there are people that do this, mad, stupid people, who name their children after their exact name, so they end up calling them Junior. So there's always the complication of having the same name in the house. So, Melody, I'm going to ask you whether you think naming your child after you is a good idea or a bad idea, and explain to me why. So,
whether naming your child after yourself is a good idea. I think I have my great-grandmother's middle name, and I'm okay with that. That's right, it's Elizabeth. I think that's kind of a middle of the road, fairly safe middle name. My first name, I would feel a bit weird if somebody else had that name, and actually quite similar to Rena's story. I am used to not meeting people that have the same first name as me. And I once went to Pizza Express in Bournemouth, of all places, and the person that served me was called Melody, and it was on, when you see it on the receipt. And it shocked me to my core, and it was awful. It was awful, it was really horrible. So when you meet people who have a name that's shared by many people, and it baffles, I can't even get my head in how they must feel in daily life when a name's called, that could be them or many other people. So my name, if my mum was also called Melody, or I don't think I'd like that. I really like having an unusual name. People don't always get my name right. They often spell it in all kinds of weird ways, which it strikes me as strange given that it's a word in the English language. I think there'd be quite a good chance of people getting it right. But I have worked with somebody who I worked with for 4 years, who, no matter how many times I said my name or wrote it down, and I would always underline the O-D-Y and put it in capital letters at the end, continuously called me Melanie. No matter, she knew my mum, she obviously worked with me for 4 years. I wrote it down and I said it and stressed the end part every time. And yet at the point that I left that job, she still called me Melanie. So, and that's why I don't like abbreviating my name, because it increases the chance of people messing that up. And also why I always say melody as in music with a Y, because even then I get called, my funniest restaurant booking was something like Idli Baka. My name's Melody Lager. So, straight slightly from the point, but the point is I like having an unusual name, despite those struggles that it brings me. And if somebody else anywhere near me has the same name, it unsettles me. So, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tim, for fabulous table topics. And we would like to invite our timekeeper to tell us the times of each of the table topic speakers. Please make note of the speaker names, because after that we'd like you to vote for the best table topic speakers. So please welcome our timekeeper.
Samantha, 1 minute 27 seconds. Dacia, is that correct? 1 minute 3 seconds. Alan, 1 minute 40 seconds. Amit, 1 minute 30 seconds. Rena, 2 minutes 15 seconds. And Melody, 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Somebody once told me that name is a thing that's given to you most easily and changed most difficult. Okay, let's move on to the next big thing. Oh yes, let's collect the votes. Sorry. You can. So this is for feedback.
Tabletop.
So sorry, you mean papers then? Okay. So the last evaluation for tonight would be done for the table topics, and Craig is making a comeback to the club, I think. He's attending the meeting after a few months, I would say. So,
babies?
yes, and baby. So please give him, congratulate him, and with an applause. So I think.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Trojans and most welcome guests, I'm going to do my best tonight to croak my way through this evaluation because my voice is nearly completely gone. This is not my normal voice, especially for the guests who see me for the first time. So I really enjoyed tonight's table topics. So kudos to Tim for coming up with some really creative ideas around names. And really impressive for the 7 people who got up here tonight. I thought it was really high caliber of evaluations, or sorry, not evaluations, of delivery of your table topics where you have to really think on your feet. So in terms of going through the evaluations, first of all we had Rachel who came up here and was asked to come up with what is a royal name, is it a proper royal name or not, Archie, the newborn. One thing that really strikes me about Rachel when she's up here is instantly there's a smile, there's a real energy about her, and that really draws you in as an audience, because sometimes there's a real mirror image. If someone smiles at you, you smile back. So that's a real asset to have, and I think that's part of her natural personality, so that will take her a long way. She gave her position, do we love it, wants to be here, and I feel when she's up here, she really wants to be on stage, and she looks quite natural and comfortable in that zone. If anything, I just feel at times, and perhaps throughout, she's a little bit deep on stage. Come up, use the stage, be a bit more involved and engaged with your audience would be my recommendation, but overall quite impressive. In terms of Samantha, who was next, I found that her topic was, what's the best name for a pet? And whatever tickles your fancy was what came out straight away. I really liked how that was delivered. It was pretty, straight off the bat we knew that, she said, totally up to you. And we heard what I consider to be a very cool name, Caesar. Who wouldn't want their pet to be called Caesar? And she was very clear on that. She looked really at ease on stage, really comfortable. It didn't feel like this was the first time she's been up here. And the only recommendation I would have for her, and I've said it a couple of times tonight, is just remember, we as an audience are thanking you for being up here, so at the end of your speech, don't end with a thank you very much or thank you. It's a case of us thanking you through applause, so just simply end with a Mr. Toastmaster in terms of your ending. Deshelle was next in terms of answering the question, what do you think of people who name cars after, or put names on their cars? Interesting technique, repeated the question, always buying time, we like that up front sometimes. and a bit of humour in there. So, you know, name your chair, you name your fridge, it doesn't really matter what you name. So I think that really got the audience engaged straight away. He was clear, he gave his personal position, said, quite frankly, I don't believe it. So we knew from the outset, you know, where he was going, and he made a stand, which I really like to see in terms of the table topics. One minor thing, you know, sometimes it's a bit cliche, but eye contact. I just noticed there's a lot of looking to the left, and sometimes within table topics we're trying to come up with things on the fly, so that does happen, but we kind of forget we should be talking to the members of the audience. That would be the only recommendation there. Alan, it was next in terms of the favourite sportsman's name. I really liked Alan's speech. We brought in a couple of really famous athletes that most people in the audience could engage with or remember, in terms of Seb Cole and Steve Abbott. I even liked how he referred back to previous table topics that had gone before, and he actually brought in and said, hey, my car's name is Penny Cat. So he led with that, which was quite a nice, easy way into his speech. If anything I'd recommend for Alan is that he was quite a little bit on the spot. Perhaps this was the position he held for most of it. Just free yourself up a little bit and just engage a little bit more with the audience, but otherwise a really good table topic. Table topic number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was Ahmed's, and probably one of the best table topics you could get is just to talk about your own name. So what we learned about Ahmed is that it meant very big in India, a real famous name over there, how he was named, etc. And what I took from that is Ahmed is basically your John and Michael of the UK. A real common name, so I really got that. I would probably say similar. There was an element of just planting yourself there, which I would just say to look to free yourself up a bit. Rena was next in terms of looking at best film star names, and again very similar to some feedback I gave before. There's real energy, there's a smile and a real connection and energy that Rena brings to the stage, which I really like. She referred to some of the previous table topics to really buy herself time. And then she really found her flow thereafter by talking about Rena being a unique name. We heard about some stories at her workplace, and the only Rena ever, then suddenly I'm in a workplace with another Rena, and all got a bit confused, and we really got engaged. But I would say that was more the second part of the speech. And my only advice therefore would be just to slow it down a little bit. If you slow it down, you get time to think about it a bit more, and perhaps it will just add a little bit more structure in terms of your delivery. Lastly, we had Melody. And Melody's speech was looking at naming your child after yourself. I found that probably one of the most interesting topics of the night. We all know someone that's been named after their father and whatnot, and for me personally I find it a bit odd. And what Melody was very clear about from the front is that she found it weird. So we knew, and probably a lot of us were thinking it was weird, and I thought it was weird as well, so she was told that it's weird and then delivered why it was weird. So you say that you think and you deliver thereafter. If anything, for Melody, I just noticed eyes to the ceiling was there a lot. So we've talked about it already before. You're thinking on the spot, but just remember, just try and bring it down and try and find different audience members as you try to find some of your thoughts and how you want to deliver your speech. But overall, I think when I spoke to, just to touch on that, when I spoke to Melody in the break, a new member to the club who talked about nerves and not being comfortable necessarily being on stage, what I did notice and what she perhaps didn't feel up here was that she did look very comfortable. She had a lot to say, she's very articulate, so she's got a lot of assets that she's got in terms of a foundation to really build on her Toastmasters journey. Overall, really interesting table topics tonight, so again, well done Tim, and well done for everyone who was up here.
Thanks, Craig. Alright, so let's bring our timekeeper Carla back here again for the timings for all the evaluations. So again, note, if you want maximum bang for your buck in Toastmasters, take the role of timekeeper because you get to come to the stage maximum of time. So, please welcome.
So we had 3 evaluations this evening, and on top of that we also had Craig as well. So the first evaluation was done by Cam, and that was done in 3 minutes 49 seconds. The second one was done by Tim, and that was done in 3 minutes and 55 seconds. And the third one was done by Rena, and that was done in 1 minute 56 seconds. And Craig, you've done yours in 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, so now let's start the reports for the evenings. So first report that we'd like to bring to the stage is, sorry, let's vote for the best evaluator. So as you just heard, so we have the evaluator number 1 is Cam, evaluator number 2 Tim, evaluator number 3 Rena, and evaluator number 4 is Craig. So the first report we are going to listen into is the grammarians report. So please welcome the grammarian for the evening, Amit Jain.
Yeah. Good evening, Toastmasters. So, as I introduced for today's grammarian, I want to introduce literary devices. So, the literary device that I wanted everybody should use was a personification. And that we, as I mentioned, we use it every day in our day-to-day life and every day in our day-to-day speech when we talk with our friends, family members, or anybody in the office. So I see everybody in the team may not have used the exact personification device. As I mentioned, the sun shines, or the sun is smiling, or the wind is, the sky is creeping. But I found that a lot of things like in Tanu's speech, like there was, I could see he mentioned collapse structurally. That is a kind of a metaphor I would see. So I want to introduce some of the other literary devices like hyperbole, imagery, these are all other hundreds of devices that we use. So like one thing I found him was he used the word the cow when he was hit by the bus. It was groaning about hit by the bus, which is something when we are getting hit by something, we groan about or we talk about. So this was a kind of a similar comparison. And for other things also, he used a lot of excellent use of verbs and words, and it was quite imagery. So if I go with all the 3 speeches, I see all that they were quite imagery. Like David's speech, it was quite imagery. We can relate the events that he was going on and the pain he and his family was going on. And similarly, Tanuj, the pain and he was going on while the cow was hit and he was having bruises. And similarly, Irana's speech, we can imagine how Irana's friend helped her to become a leader from a follower. So similarly, we could see good transition from being a follower to leader in her speech as well. And she used a rich set of vocabulary that I could see. And yeah, I just want to say that there are a lot of literary devices. As I said, if you search in Google, you will find a lot of literary devices that we should use every day, and that will make our speeches and make our communication much more effective than we use. That's
All right, time for the goodies. Please welcome Paula, who is a half master evening, and let's see how well we've been listening. Paula.
So what do points make?
Prizes.
Okay, right. So to start us off then, who can tell me the title of Tanner's speech?
I was first.
Okay. Whoa! Go for it. What was the title of Tanner's speech? Yeah.
Holy cow.
Perfect. Well done. Okay. Where did the bus that Tanner was travelling in end up?
Ditch.
Perfect. Well done. his speech. If you can't remember the exact date, that's fine, or the year. And
It's Friday the 13th, isn't it? But I don't remember.
anyone remember the year?
2012.
Okay, so let's give one each. Perfect. Thanks very much. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you. So, what subject did Irina win first prize in at summer camp?
History.
Perfect.
Sorry. There you go.
And who can tell me what table topic Samantha was given to talk about? Camp.
Naming, what name you would give your pet?
Perfect. And who can remember what name she gave her? Right. So what stood out for Cam in Tanager's speech? Just one example. So when Cam gave the speech, when Tanager gave the speech and Cam did the evaluation, and she spoke about something that stood out for her. Is it Dashiell?
Yeah, Dashiell, yeah. It was, I think it was the body language when he was there and he made a picture of the movement.
Brilliant. Okay. What type of car would Dashiell have if it were possible?
Ferrari.
And colour?
Red.
Okay.
There's only one colour.
You can tell, and what were the names of the two runners that Alan referenced in his talk?
Sebastian Coe, Steve Ogate.
And who had the table topic of film star names?
Me?
Yeah, Coe.
Oh, me?
I'll play them.
All right. Okay. Let's go for Kat.
Rena.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Fantastic. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's the affairs for the evening, but we have the awards for tonight. So please welcome our president to do the award ceremony. Dave.
Right, bang on time. Very well managed, Sinead, thank you. What a bunch of great speeches we've had. Table topics, everything. It was all really good, very entertaining. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. But now it's time to announce the results. We'll start with the best table topics. And the winner is Rena. Picture? Oh, sorry. Moving on to the best evaluator, and the winner is Craig. I was going to go up for that. And last we have the best speaker, and the winner is Irina. Go for it. Hey, that's an honorable.
His speech impressed me so much. I want to see more of you.
Well done. And so my last activity for the evening is to bid you all adieu. Please remember, in a fortnight's time, it's the committee elections. We need everybody to come. I'll be sending out email reminders. I'll be sending out WhatsApp. But 2 weeks from tonight, the 22nd of May, and if anyone is still interested in standing for any of the committee roles, please reach out to me. You can contact me through EasySpeak, or I can give you my mobile, or I think most of you have my email, or I'm on WhatsApp. Okay? Thank you very much.